Who wrote John in the Bible? A deep dive into authorship and context. Unravel the mystery of who wrote John in the Bible. Explore the various theories and historical evidence that shine light on this intriguing biblical question. Join us on a journey into the past that stretches from the early days of Christianity to modern biblical scholarship. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1:1. One of the most profound and moving statements in the New Testament. It comes from the book of John. But who wrote John in the Bible? This question has piqued the interest of scholars, theologians, and lay people alike. We'll examine this question, weighing the evidence, examining theories, and exploring the history surrounding this enigmatic gospel. The Gospel of John, an overview. The unique fourth gospel, the Gospel of John, the last of the four Gospels, stands apart from its synoptic companions, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, in style and content. It's less a chronological narrative and more a theological reflection on the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The Gospel of John delves into Jesus' divine nature, presenting a different perspective on the Savior's teachings and miracles. The time and place of writing. Estimates for the time of writing the Gospel of John range from the late 1st century to the early 2nd century AD. It's generally agreed that the Gospel was likely penned in Ephesus, a major city in ancient Asia Minor, now modern-day Turkey. The traditional view: John the Apostle. Early church tradition. Who wrote John in the Bible? For centuries, the answer was straightforward: John the Apostle, one of the 12 original disciples of Jesus Christ. Early church tradition holds John as the author, with Irenaeus, Bishop of Lyon in the late 2nd century, being one of the first to assert this claim. Internal evidence from the Gospel. Some clues within the Gospel itself point towards John the Apostle as the author. The writer refers to himself as the disciple whom Jesus loved, leading many to believe this is John, who's depicted in other parts of the New Testament as being particularly close to Jesus. The Johannine community, a counterargument. The role of the community. However, not all scholars agree with the traditional view. Some argue the Gospel of John was written not by a single individual but by a community of followers, referred to as the Johannine community, that developed its unique understanding and interpretation of Jesus' life and teachings over time. Evidence of multiple authors. Certain elements within the Gospel, such as shifts in style and contradictions in narrative, suggest that multiple authors may have been involved in its composition. This strengthens the theory of a Johannine community. The role of the beloved disciple. Certainly, here's a table detailing the key roles of the Apostle John, also known as the beloved disciple. Role details: disciple of Jesus. John was one of the original 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to follow him and to be his close associates. He, along with Peter and James, formed the inner circle of Jesus' disciples and were present during specific significant events, such as the transfiguration of Jesus and Jesus' agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. Witness to crucifixion. As the beloved disciple, John is traditionally believed to have been the only one of the 12 apostles who did not forsake Jesus in his hour of need and stood by Jesus at the foot of the cross during his crucifixion. Caretaker of Mary before his death, Jesus entrusted the care of his mother, Mary, to John, an act seen as a testament to his trust and love for the apostle. Evangelist. After Jesus' ascension, John played a crucial role in spreading the gospel and establishing the early Christian church. He is traditionally seen as a pillar of the Jerusalem church and later appears to have worked in Ephesus. Author of New Testament works. John is traditionally attributed with the authorship of 5 books of the New Testament: the Gospel of John, 3 epistles, 1, 2, and 3 John, and the book of Revelation. These works have been pivotal in understanding Jesus' nature, ministry, and teachings. Visionary. John is identified as the recipient of the divine visions recorded in the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament. These visions form a significant part of Christian eschatology. Exiled to Patmos. According to tradition, John was exiled to the island of Patmos during a time of persecution under Roman Emperor Domitian. Here he received the visions that he recorded in the book of Revelation. Death. John is traditionally believed to have died of natural causes in Ephesus, making him the only apostle not to be martyred. Please remember, while these roles are widely accepted, they are based on traditional Christian beliefs and interpretations of the Bible, which can vary among different Christian denominations and scholars. The influence of Gnostic thought. Creating a table outlining the influence of Gnostic thought on the writings of John can be challenging due to the scholarly debate around the issue. Gnosticism is a complex set of religious and philosophical ideas that were prevalent in the first few centuries CE, and while some of these ideas may appear in the Johannine texts, they are not necessarily indicative of direct influence or acceptance of Gnostic ideology by the author. Here, however, is an attempt to outline some areas where there may be perceived parallels. Concept details. Dualism. The Gospel of John contains clear dualistic themes, particularly the juxtaposition of light and darkness, truth and falsehood, which can be seen in Gnostic thought. However, in John's writings, these are not indicative of a fully realized cosmological dualism as found in Gnosticism. Knowledge and revelation. Both Gnostic writings and the Johannine texts put significant emphasis on knowledge, understanding, and revelation, with Jesus being presented as the bringer of divine knowledge. However, the knowledge in John's Gospel is more relational and salvific, focused on knowing Jesus and the Father, as opposed to the Gnostic idea of salvific knowledge of the divine realm and the self. Logos. The concept of the Logos, or the divine word, is central in the Gospel of John, with Jesus identified as the Logos become flesh. Some forms of Gnosticism also contain the concept of the divine Logos. However, the similarities are likely due to shared Hellenistic philosophical influences rather than direct Gnostic influence on the Gospel. Christology. John's high Christology, portraying Jesus as pre-existent and divine, may seem to resonate with some Gnostic views of Jesus. However, John's Christology remains firmly rooted in Jewish monotheism and does not adhere to the Gnostic separation of the divine Christ from the human Jesus. Please remember that these parallels do not imply that the Gospel of John is a Gnostic text or that the author directly borrowed from Gnostic thought. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, welcome to our family. View all posts.